Let's dive into the next chapter of the FTX rabbit hole, shall we? The details that we are about to discuss take us to distant lands, and we even meet some crazy powerful figures that have paid a lot of money to remain as anonymous as possible. So strap in and let's get rolling. So the main focus of this second episode in my 4-part series is Farmington State Bank. Never heard of it? Probably for a reason. The key here is that Farmington is a fully regulated bank located in rural Washington state, and it was the bank that FTX was using very heavily. Founded in 1887, yeah, quite a while ago, it only held a few $1 million in customer funds for most of its entire storied history. But in a fateful year, 1995, everything changed. The bank was suddenly acquired by Archie Chan, a British man living in what today is a special administrative region of the People's Republic of China. Weird. Know what that republic's called? Hong Kong. Now, this is where things start to get interesting, because the records show that Archie acquired Farmington using a shell company in the Caribbean, and the man who helped him set up the acquisition could not have been a more suspicious character. Bond villain status. He was the former chairman of the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco, which oversees the area in rural Washington state where Farmington State Bank was registered. Huh? Have I piqued your interest? Good, because if you like what's going on, then make sure that you smash that like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. Boom! Bang on that notification bell. Comment anything that you want in the relevant sections. I appreciate it. Now, let's go see what Farmington State Bank might be hiding in its dungeon. So although Farmington was owned by a shell company in the Caribbean, its offices were in Hong Kong, and the office building belonged to a large Asian trading company. Sounds legit, but that large Asian trading company happens to be crazy old and was even a player in transporting opium during the colonial period. Dude. This clearly suggests a very direct connection between Archie and this trading company. But let's explore this Archie character a bit more in depth before we get into all of that. Archie was also the top executive of Glorious Sun, an SEC-regulated company that owns expensive real estate around the entire globe. Glorious Sun was founded in the 1960s by a Chinese man named Charles Young and his brother. What's crazy is that Charles had a seat at the table in the official talks for what is called the handover of Hong Kong from Britain to China. So this dude's plugged up. Now, this transfer of sovereignty went live in 1997, but in 2019, you may recall that violence in Hong Kong was rampant as the Chinese government enforced tighter cultural norms and greatly reduced freedoms that the population of Hong Kong had grown very accustomed to. And guess what? Charles Young was there at the meetings when the British gave up Hong Kong to the Chinese after they had been allies in World War II. Charles has a presence in Hong Kong, as well as Macau, another supposedly autonomous Chinese region that's known for gambling and money laundering. A Macau bank called Sanghang was actually allegedly involved in money laundering and was sold to US politicians and eventually sold to the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, or the ICBC. Huh? The ICBC then appointed Charles to Sanghang's board of directors, and if you recall, the ICBC is one of the largest banks in the entire world by assets under management, with over $5.5 trillion in assets. And to add on to that, Charles's brother was allegedly laundering money in the Philippines with Glorious Sun, which you can recall had Archie as its top executive. Weird. Glorious Sun was later accused of stealing wealth from the people of the Philippines with the help of the Filipino president, who was closely tied in with key US institutions. I can't make this stuff up. Literally, fact is stranger than fiction. So, the Filipino president in question was Ferdinand Marcos, who was buying weapons from a man who worked closely with Epstein to launder money. What a tangled web we weave, right? So it's all coming full circle. And I'm just gonna quickly recap that because I know that I've thrown a lot of information at people in the past 2 episodes. Archie buys Farmington, serves as the top executive of Glorious Sun, which appears to be heavily involved in money laundering in the Philippines. It looks like Glorious Sun was motivated to do this so that it could help prop up a pro-US entity in China. And by the way, this type of activity was very similar to what we know about what Epstein was doing. And in 2009, Archie was honored with a royal award from the Kingdom of Poland. Dude, How did he do that? Well, the recognition was made possible through the sponsorship of a prominent individual, Paul Chan, who coincidentally owns several holdings companies in the same location as Farmington's holding company in the British Virgin Islands. Now, Paul was also later acknowledged for his contributions to humanitarian causes by none other than the late Queen Elizabeth. Chan now runs multiple businesses in China with the assistance of the Chinese military that he also works close with. So like I said, this guy's got some juice. So I know that that was a lot to take in, but are you ready for the actual bomb to be dropped? Because we haven't gotten to it yet. Alameda Research invested $11.5 million into Farmington State Bank, and then the bank changed all of its branding and named it to Moonstone Bank. Pretty crazy, huh? But why is Drew leaving us with yet another cliffhanger? Because, as promised, in the next episode, I'm going to peel back the curtains on how big of a deal that actually is. But I'm also going to show you how it's related to Tether. And trust me, it is absolutely insane. So if you like content like this, make sure you go watch the previous video and make sure you show up to the next one. And obviously, make sure that you smash that like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. Boom! Bang on that notification bell. Comment anything that you want in the relevant sections. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for showing up to this video. I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, everyone.